yes, you can take the vaccine. Yeah, but we reassess you. The risks, the WHO recommendation says you have to assess the vaccine, whether you must take the vaccine and the risks to the mother and the child. So that risk assessment, but usually it is still it is observed. Pregnant women are somehow reserved yet. It's not the first line of taking the vaccines. You go to non-pregnant people for the vaccines. So the recommendation is, because study is still ongoing, most study going about the vaccines and who to take it. So the pregnant women, I will advise that further assessment be done. They can only take when the risks, when the good of the vaccine exceed the risks. Yeah. But at forefront, I will tell you, we put the pregnant women aside yet. Okay.
So, me see all the pregnant with me here. Anna, can I? How you call them you? She qualify, eh? Then they say the old people there, eh?
Sister above.
But I think she be 60 years. I think she be 60 years. Oh, tell them we see you or what take your phone or start to show them be a friend. When you got pressure, you got hepatitis, you get to the vaccine.
You can take the vaccine. Know that the vaccine meaning for those, you know, the death rate of COVID-19 globally was mostly associated with those with what we call comorbidities, those with chronic diseases. So it is advised that those who having pressure, diabetes, chronic infection, you can still take the vaccine. The only group of people that we need to take some caution on for COVID-19, because vaccine has to do with immunity. Okay, vaccine has to do with immunity, the immune system going to work. So that's why sometimes it's advised for those who have compromised immune system, HIV, AIDS, we need to be careful how we engage those kind of people with the vaccines. That's all we know. But if your immune system is okay and strong, that it can produce the antibody against the virus, then you are strong to take your your vaccines.
So what happens if I on another medication? Maybe I have malaria and I taking antimeter or any other malaria pills or some antibiotics. Can I still take the vaccine?
Whether you're on medication or not, to my knowledge, there is no contraindication for taking the vaccines. You can still take your vaccines. But what health call for? You always give your status to your clinician of things that you're doing, the kind of medication you're taking, at least for them to have an information on your health status. But it's not contraindicated when you're taking medication, you're taking anti-malaria, that you can take COVID-19 vaccine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's a Kumaga Vanity. So as it relates to the two dosage that you talk of, does the military have all two dosage on hand? And if not, is there a side effect if one of these doses were taken and the second was not given at the particular time, like you said, after 10 weeks, 10 or 12 weeks?
Good question. Very good question. Like I said in the briefings and with discussion with the Ministry of Health, I know approximately we have 120 million doses of vaccines. When they say doses, it means every one they will give you. The vaccine has a 10 ml vials. It means that in the vial you can give it to 10%. the quantity of vaccine in country, it is managed in a way that you will get your 2 doses. Okay, so when you take the one today, you will get the other dose from information I received from the Ministry of Health. Whether there is side effects if you don't respect the timeline, that's a good question. Well, we hope that as a human, we hope that, and as a military, we are disciplined. So we don't expect people to go above the timeline. So we say between 10 to 12 weeks, we hope that we can maintain that time. I can't give you exact information whether there will be side effect if you don't take it. To my knowledge, no. There will be no side effect, but you know, once study have shown that you should take it in that range. So we expect you to work very hard to be present. The only thing we have been saying is if you are in a period where you may not be available to take the 2 vaccines, probably because you're going to travel and you're not in that range, or you fall outside the range, we prefer giving it to people who will be around to take the 2 vaccines. So if you're having any trip in less than 10 weeks, then you have to report that so that we don't commit you to the vaccine because we want you to take the 2 doses to be fully covered somehow. Did that answer your question?
Sir, I want to please question to everything. We are speaking on the issue of complication to be specific in HIV and AIDS. And if I think I've got it right, there's somehow talking about self-completion. It may be somehow, maybe difficult for them, but I didn't actually understand that, so I want you to please make it a little bit clearer to me, sir.
No, what I was saying
Yes, sir.
is when you're dealing with vaccines,
Yes, sir.
you expect the immune system to get to work. What's the definition of HIV? It's immunodeficiency syndrome. Immunodeficiency. The immune system. So vaccines is there to make your immune system to work, to develop antibodies. Okay? Antibodies. So next time, anything that COVID enters your body, then you already know what to do. Or the body already know what to do. So those with HIV, or let's say I reach the age of being, we say AIDS patient. HIV is not AIDS. But AIDS patient, we know those people have compromised immune system. So there's a caution. I don't want to rule it out. There's a caution because there is still research going on. Caution of people who have immune system broken down to take the vaccines. Okay? You have to be very careful about that. Okay, I think I'll finish with you. Yeah. Come here, please.
Sir, would there be any certificate awarded to
Certification. For now, I have to get the answer from the Ministry of Health. But I know you have a vaccine card initially. What I know, you have a vaccine card for first dose and vaccine card for second dose. I was not at the launching, but I know for normal, for best practice, you should have vaccine card for dose 1 and vaccine card for dose 2. At the end of the day, we'll see whether there will be certification. But you know now, we have the international travel vaccine booklet, that yellow book. So once you are taking the vaccine, that's another means because they write those vaccines you have taken, probably. So it's written there that you have taken COVID. So when you're traveling with a yellow book, maybe there's a space where you put COVID-19 vaccine taken. So I can give you definite answer whether to be specific certificate for complete vaccination. But that answer will come from the Ministry of Health. Okay? But once you take your first dose, we need something for you to show that you took the first to get your second dose. So on that note, gentlemen, I was told that the vaccine team is almost here. So once they arrive, we launch into it. Please be patient. I know we give the timeline, but we're working in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. They are very busy in spreading the vaccine around. So I don't want to say they are late. They are working. They are doing their best to be here so we can get a vaccine. So stick around. We're going to organize it so everyone can rush. We have our maritime students. After the deacons and the leadership have set the example, we want you to at least give small chance to the students. They're not many. They do their vaccine and go back to class. Then we can stay and continue our process. Thank you.
Gentlemen, listen up. I said it all. Gentlemen, stick around. Don't leave the friend to go eat in the barrel. Stick around here. Follow, find shit, and we meet there. Anything will call you. Follow.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome. Today we see men and women in uniform at the military hospital getting prepared for the vaccination. Can you tell us more about this? Why the army at this time when the government just launched this and we saw about 60 government officials doing the vaccine, and today our officers are about to undergo the same process. Why the army at this time?
Okay, thank you for the question. And
First, your name and your position.
so I'm Major Cole Joseph Bien. I'm the commanding officer for the Armed Forces of Services. And I want to take this time on behalf of my chief to say thank you to the Ministry of Health for considering the Armed Forces of Liberia as one of the group that will be involved in the vaccines, that will take the vaccines. And I also want to say that the military is our first line of defense. And health-wise, we need a healthy troop to defend the territorial integrity of the country. So it's not by mistake that the security forces, including the Armed Forces of Liberia, has been prioritized to take this vaccine, this scarce vaccine that the world is all looking for. So I would like to say that it is good for us. And as you saw, the Deputy Chief of Staff, who is actually the Acting Chief of Staff in country, going to lead the way. And in the military, we say lead the way to motivate the troops, to erase all safety concerns associated with the vaccines.
We saw most of the officers asking questions as it relates to this vaccine. Was there formal awareness in the army before today, or you just took them by surprise and said, we need you men to come for your vaccine? Was there any formal education within the army to educate them the good side of this vaccine and the bad side of this vaccine?
Okay, actually, as we speak, this is probably the second mass section for sensitization on COVID-19 vaccines. Apart from COVID-19 vaccines, but COVID-19 in general. We have been fully engaged with the troops, we have been engaged with the soldiers and their families, and we the military, we always try to be at the forefront because our mission depicts that we are first responders. So we have been sensitizing our troops, and there are some of them that were not in because they come from different units around the country. They were not available, but we'll continue to sensitize them, and we'll continue to watch out. There is vaccine. Okay, this is health. We're not erasing the fact that there will be no side effects because the WHO is still on the watch for side effects. So as a health department, we keep monitoring our troops and see whether we can report anything that we don't foresee with the vaccines. But from all indication and from what the WHO stand at this point, the vaccine is safe. All the side effects all the side effects cannot stop the vaccines from being taken. So the vaccine is still safe in general.
If I may ask, is this exercise going to be decentralized? Because we know that there are other units in other counties, and are you guys going to go there in order to administer this vaccine?
Yes, that is the plan. The plan, unfortunately, we can't bring all the soldiers from Banga, from maybe Coast Guard, from Lofa or Grand Jide to do this vaccine here at the 14th Military Hospital. So that's why we are collaborating. We're collaborating with the Ministry of Health to see how we can decentralize the vaccines. And how are we going to do that? Because one of the challenges we have is to maintain the vaccine coaching. The coaching of the vaccine is important. So once we work with the Ministry of Health and see that we are okay with the coaching and we can transport the vaccine, we have our own vaccinators. So we can move around with our vaccinator, but maintain the coaching of the vaccine and get the other troops vaccinated. I know it will be a little bit challenging, but it's something that we can work once we properly coordinate.
Okay, before we take leave of you, what will you say to the public? Because there's this doubt surrounding this vaccine. Since today they are seeing you, the first line of defense, and you are about to do your vaccine, what will you say to the rest, those who are still in a state of dilemma?
I would say that if you have the chance, because the vaccine is not sufficient for now, I would say that if you have the chance, take advantage of the vaccines. Vaccines are always safe. They don't give disease. They don't give the disease that you're preventing. So we as military, we are leading the way to tell the general public, please take advantage of the vaccines, especially our frontline workers, those who have been set aside to take the initial dose. Please come forth and take your vaccines so that we can set the example and we can protect ourselves, our family, and the rest of the public. And we hope, and this occur to the Ministry of Health and their partners, to please get sufficient vaccine in countries so everyone can have the opportunity to get protected from the COVID-19.
Okay, thank you. Again, your name?
Again, I'm Major Joseph Bianco. I'm the commanding officer for the Armed Forces of Liberia Health Services.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we will be right back.